Well, hello there you lovely people, and welcome to my first ever LEGO set review on this channel. I'm the Critical Builder, and today we're going to have a look at set number 75341, Luke Skywalker's Landspeeder. And this set is for the ages of 18 and above and contains 1,890 pieces and costs £209 on LEGO's official website. And this is a big one for me, guys, and I've always liked Luke's X34 Speeder, and getting it as a UCS set is just awesome. I've had this one for just under 2 years and I can't wait to review this one for you guys. So let's just get right to it. Starting with the box, we can see on the front the build in all its glory, and my first impressions of it are great. And in contrast to many others, I do actually prefer the black clean background, as you see here, over an in-action background when it comes to UCS sets. And since this is a display model, having nothing around the build makes the build stand out even more, and I'm personally just a massive fan of that. On the back of the box, we can see the build from another angle, looking really clean. I mean, just look at that, guys. It looks clean and really smooth. You can also see that the set comes with 2 minifigures, them being, of course, Farm Boy Luke Skywalker, and actually an exclusive, unique C-3PO minifigure. A bit further down, you can see the speeder and how it looks in the movie, and that is, of course, some of the source material they used to build this set, as well as in the middle here, you can see some of the proportions, it being 49 centimeters long, 10 centimeters wide, but we do not get the width. For some weird reason, it does not show here on the set, but on lego.com, it says that it is 30 centimeters wide. And now, with all that out of the way, let's see what's in the box. First, we get this instruction manual, which comes inside of this thin cardboard box. And the box is supposed to protect the instruction from getting damaged. However, it did not make my instructions sit tight inside of it, and hence probably why I got this little mark over here. The instruction looks similar to the box, which I think is great. And the instruction is rather thick, as you can see. But I am glad they decided not to split it into two. And if we turn it around, you can see that on the back of it, we got this clean Star Wars logo, as well as a Disney logo down here on the right. When we open the instruction manual, we are immediately greeted by a picture of Luke Skywalker with his Landspeeder, as well as a note from the creative director at LEGO Star Wars himself, Jens Kronwall Fredrickson. And if we turn to the next page, we can see some of the backstory behind the speeder in the Star Wars universe, as well as some photos from the scenes featuring the Landspeeder. And on the next page, we get to meet the model designer himself, Cesar Cavalloso Suarez, and we get to see some of his insights and thoughts and ideas for the set. And if we turn another time to pages here, we get to see the build from another angle, as well as some of the details that the designer managed to squeeze into the set. And this set does also come with one of these turquoise brick removers, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bags. And with all that said and done, I think that covers it for the instruction, and it is time to head into the minifigures. First up, we've got Farm Boy Luke Skywalker with his lightsaber and binoculars, and he looks great. There's been no specific changes to him from the previous versions, and that is completely fine, as this one looks great. The printing on his torso and his legs are accurate to how it looks in the film, and he's also, if I turn this around for you, he's also got a double-sided face, which is a neat addition, giving you a bit more room for customization if that's what you want. Next up, we've got C-3PO, an exclusive minifigure in that, who LEGO did an excellent job on, and he has got printing everywhere, as you can see, like on his torso, his arms, legs, and even on the side of the legs as well. It is stunning and accurate. It is almost flawless. The only flaw I could unfortunately find is that his right leg here is light grey, as you see. It matches perfectly with my base plate here, and that is something I would have loved to see in silver, but it's not the end of the world. It's only a minimal flaw, really. And yeah, I do really like this minifigure. I know some people here want exclusive minifigures in these UCS sets, and I personally do not agree, as you are spending a big chunk of money for not for the minifigures themselves, but the build. making a minifig exclusive to a set would just drive the market crazy, and resellers would benefit massively from it. And I personally view Lego as a cool and educational item rather than somewhat of a stock. And with all that said and done, let's get into the build itself. Starting it all off, I'd like to say that the building experience of it was great. Even though there were many same colored bricks, it didn't feel exhausting. And what I will say I slightly miss is a bit more information on the speeder as you go through the pages like in other UCS sets. The first thing in this set I want to talk about is the stand, and it is really well made. You got 2 spots for the minifigures as well as this plaque with more neat information on the speeder, and two sturdy poles actually here which are supposed to go into the speeder. Since it is actually made, as you can see, in a really like glossy black color, the stand needs to be brushed more often than usual as dust is really visible on it. The stand is also a lot lower compared to other stands we've seen with other UCS sets, and that is because this is a Landspeeder which does hover over the ground and not fly. So that is a nicely thought thing by Lego. If we go over to the set, there are 2 holes here on the back of the speeder, which is where the 2 poles on the stand are supposed to go in. So if I just place it a bit down here, you can see that it slips on nicely, and voila, now the build is ready for review. From this side, we can see the build clearly, and he has plenty of detail. We can start from left to right. These Lego wires here work tremendously well and gives that really accurate look to the speeder. And the wires work also nicely when going over to this sticker piece here, which transitions nicely into this little red vent. And that is really nicely and accurately done, as you can see up above. Moving on to the engine, we can see that it's missing its top, and there are many wires and cables showing, and this is just perfect. Lego really managed through this and the colors to recreate this engine has been through a lot look, and I have no complaints. It has also got a nice look here from the front, and from the back, this engine looks just as good. And with the transition over to the exhaust vents, it just really looks stunning. Moving on to the middle engine. This is probably my favorite out of the 3, as it is the least damaged, and it still does look really nice. With the stickers as well, it gives a bit more detail, and the shaping of it is just as good as it was on the previous one. My only complaint here is that there's too many stickers. This is an 18+ set, guys, so this is supposed to be a collector's item, and having these stickers, they would just get loose over time, and of course then damaging the look of the speeder. And if they were printed, that would not have been an issue, but this could become a problem. I've also another complaint, but that is as a plate feature, but it's not that important. It is that if you hold on to this and try to lift it, it will just fall off. So be careful with that, and don't lift the model from the middle engine. From the middle engine, we go down through this nicely and neatly done exhaust vent and across these beautifully angled lines over to the engine on the right. And it is nicely, neatly done. It is more worn than the previous one, and it is covered in stickers, which is design-wise great, but collector-wise, not so much. The intake vent is really nicely made, as it was with the others, and it has also a nice transition from the engine over to the main hull. From this gap here, we move effortlessly over to this side vent, which is then connected by the sticker as we have on the other side, and which is also connecting these wires here through this piece and all the way to the front, which gives it a really nice and accurate look. And if we move a bit up, now we can see what I believe is the best angle of the build, and I just can't think of any other words other than awesome looking at it. Just look at it. It is just great, and my camera doesn't do the build any justice whatsoever. And if you do remember the picture from the instruction earlier, you can see that this dent is accurately placed to the one that is on the picture, and that is also really nicely done. And what I will say here is that looking at the picture and the build, There are many dots and marks and scratches missing. However, I do think that would just make the Landspeeder look unnecessarily ugly. And I do like the look of the Landspeeder as they made it. And knowing Lego, if they decided to go with that beat up look, right, it would just result in many more stickers. And no, thank you. If we go just a little bit down again, we can see these pieces here connecting the wires on the left to the ones on the right. And I think it just gives off a really, really nice look. I mean, for accuracy wise, this is supposed to be a bit darker, I believe, but I mean, it still looks really good, in my opinion. Moving from the front to the hood, you've also got this little antenna piece, as well as these nicely dark red colored tile bricks, just giving it the look it's supposed to have, and it is just really, really nice. I can't really complain too much. And closer to the cockpit, you've also got this little engine sticking out, and it is really nicely made. Also accurate to the source material, and the use of that blaster, it is just a blast, really. It is awesome. I like seeing pieces that you never thought would get into a UCS set being used in a UCS set, so that is props to Lego for that. Hats off, really. And I have no complaints. Now we have finally reached the cockpit, and the first thing we notice is this big transparent piece, which is exceptionally made and gives the speeder that iconic look. And here on the back, we actually see where R2 and C-3PO were sitting when Obi-Wan and Luke drove into Mos Eisley, and this does also look seemingly accurate to what we see in the movie. If we move over to this angle, we get a great shot of the cockpit's interior, and I am a fan. I really like the look of it, and the seats are of course way too big to be minifigure scale. However, that's not the point of them. They look great and are well designed. Maybe it's even missing a red line in between the headrest and the backrest, but I do like this clean black glossy look way more, as it would be, in my opinion, too many colors clashing in one place. They've also accurately included these black pieces here over the dashboard, as well as a steering wheel on the right, a display in the middle, as well as a gearbox and some buttons on the center console. And I will say that while the cockpit looks objectively good, the center console should be a lot higher up compared to the seat. If you look at the photo top, it doesn't seem too hard to fix. However, it's not the end of the world to me, and it still looks good. And with all that said, I think it's about time we get into the summary. So my thoughts on this UCS Luke's Landspeeder set is, first of all, wow. This is an amazing set. The building process was nice, the figures are great, the stand is neatly done well, and the build speaks for itself. It looks awesome on display, and my camera does not do it enough justice. Lego did say in the instruction that this set was of high demand, but I haven't seen too much of a buzz around this set for quite some time. And even though this set was released more than 2 years ago, I personally think there should be more talk about this, as it probably is one of the most accurate UCS sets to date, in my opinion. The shaping is nice, the details are incredible, and even though it is not as beat up as it should be in the movie, I'm glad Lego went with a more smooth design, as it just looks so much better on display. The set costs £209 and contains 1,890 pieces, and I do think that price is a bit much. I got this for around £163 myself, and I think that was right on the money. There are not too many pieces in this UCS set, so paying £209 for me, it just seems a bit too much. Personally, when I got the set, I was slightly unsure what to feel. However, after putting it all together and having it on display for just under 2 years, I haven't looked back at all. If you can get the set for around £163, then I'd say this is a 10 out of 10. As simple as that. If you're thinking of buying it, but you're not quite there yet, I'd say get it. One argument is, of course, that the set is retiring at the end of the year, and you won't be able to get it on retail anymore. But what I value even more is the fact that I've been in that situation, and I hesitated for quite some time, but now I'm really happy with my purchase. If you're a UCS collector, this is obviously a no-brainer for you. If you are an episode 4 fan and do not have a version of this speed, I'd say get it, as this is the best one looks-wise we will probably ever get. And I think that about sums it all up. Thank you so much for watching this really long review, and I hope it helps you come to a decision. If you have any comments on this set, I would love to see what you think about it. I'm rather new to this reviewing things, so any feedback is appreciated, and I want to know how I can make things more interesting for you guys. If you did like this video, I would appreciate a like, and if you want more detailed reviews like this, consider subscribing. I am on a tight budget here, but I will do my best to post as often as possible for you guys. And with that said, may the force be with you and have a great day. Take care.